I'm John from Proper Coils, and today we're going to have a look at the Arbiter Solo RTA from OXVA. Right, a little backstory to this review. Originally, OXVA contacted me about 3 to 4 months ago and asked me to review the Arbiter RTA, the dual coil version, and it's taken me 2 to 3 months to get the workshop ready. So, and the new computer and all the setup for reviewing. So, basically, it's a bit late doing this now. So, instead of doing the dual coil, I said, as a little favour, I suppose, to OXVA, I would purchase the Solo instead because that's more relevant at the minute. Reviews for the dual coil have been out 3 or 4 months, so I said I'd do a review on the Solo instead. So that's what we're doing today. So here's the box: Arbiter Solo RTA, 2mm stainless steel, Tony T, or designed by Tony T. Nothing on that side, batch number and scratch and check that side. On the back, it just basically talks about how it's dual airflow control, so it does mouth lung and restricted direct lung. Contents are the RTA, obviously, with a straight glass, a spare straight glass tube, 2 accessory bags, which you will see when we open it up, and a user manual. So let's open it up. So we have your user manual. I'm sure we'll figure that all out. That's fine. In one of the baggies, you have some cotton and a coil, which we're not going to use because this is Proper Coils YouTube channel. So I'm sure we can use our own, and we'll use our own cotton as well. In the other bag, we have some O-rings, black and clear. We have a what looks like a direct lung drip tip, and we have an Allen key. That's what's in the baggie. Silica, rid of that. We have the RTA itself. So it actually looks pretty nice with the straight glass on. We look at that in a sec, and then we have the straight glass here. Spare straight glass, no bubble glass. So TPD, I have the TPD version obviously. So we'll put the box away. So on top we have the mouth to lung drip tip. If you turn, we should see here, you can see mouth to lung and restricted direct lung. So basically what you do is you twist this way for restricted direct lung and twist this way for mouth to lung, and I'll show you how that works when I open it up inside. Airflow wise, you have lots of options. So if you're going to use the wide open restricted direct lung, this is the way you'd set it up. So you've got several holes here, and then like a small cyclops here. If you're going to use the mouth to lung, you'd use this small hole here, and you dial it down to a single hole option here. So your tightest is here. You have a little bit of engraving here. You have Arbiter on this side here. And you have the Arbiter symbol there. Very good. And on the base we have Arbiter and designed by OXVA. So when we open it up, have a look at the deck. Now on this one, unlike the dual coil, there is no cap for your wicks. So we'll take a look at what way the airflow works first. So when you look inside, you can see that there is like a rectangle slot this side, rectangle slot this side. When you move your option at the top from restricted direct lung to mouth to lung, this piece moves, and then that corresponds with these holes here. That corresponds with these holes here and these holes here. So basically the two circular holes either side of your coil is your restricted direct lung airflow, and this airflow here is for your mouth to lung. So when you basically when you change from restricted direct lung airflow and twist it to mouth to lung, it closes off these circular holes both sides, and it leaves only this slot open here, which gives you your mouth to lung airflow at the bottom here. And then obviously the opposite is true, where when you open it to restricted direct lung, it'll basically open up everything, so you're going to get mostly airflow to the side of your coil from both sides, from this side and this side, and probably a little bit of airflow from the bottom, but mostly from the sides. So that's how the airflow works. You have hex head screws here, and you have a little lip here, just to make sure your coil doesn't pop out when you're trying to fix it in. So the coil we're going to use today, and this is going to be a proper coil, of course, and it's going to be a 0.5 mouth to lung alien, and it is made up of 3 cores of 30 gauge Canthal wrapped in 38 gauge Canthal, and a below mount of 0.5 single coil, 2.5 millimeter inner diameter. That should work perfect. The good thing about this coil is that it will do both restricted direct lung and mouth to lung, so it's sort of a in-betweeny. It'll do a good tight mouth to lung vape, or between 18 and 20 watts, and then if you bump up the wattage to 25-30 watts, it's going to give you a nice restricted direct lung vape. So we're going to use one of these in the Arbiter Solo. So let's get building. Now what I will say about the Wicking is that it's quite a deep channel here once you hit the metal right down to the base. So I would aim for just above the treads. If you pack in too much and try and get it that it's coming out below the treads, it's going to be very hard to wick, especially if you're using restricted direct lung, because you're going to be using a bit more juice. So try and keep it about 3 or 4 mil below the top here and above the threads here, and it should be good. And the juice I'm using is Strawberry Crunch from Num Nums. It was originally a 30ml one shot, and I've made it into a 250ml 3mg. So we'll juice it up. And we will put the cap back on. I think it's actually a pretty good looking, even though there is a bit of branding on the RTA, it is a pretty good looking RTA. It's pretty clean looking. I would have liked less branding. The Arbiter doesn't need to be there. The OXVA is pretty, because it's not inlaid with any colour, it's pretty clean looking. But it's definitely cleaner than the dual coil, and yeah, looks good with the straight glass for sure. Right, let's take it up and see what it vapes like, both in mouth to lung and restricted direct lung. Right guys, back up on top with the Arbiter Solo RTA. It's sitting on the ZQ Ascent DNA 75C. We have, where are we? We have 18 watts with a 0.5 MTL alien. So I have it here in MTL mode. So I have it on the tightest setting, and we'll see what it's like with a mouth to lung vape. It's a good mouth to lung vape. It feels like 1 mil. If a 0.8 is like a tight Nautilus old school mouth to lung, this feels like a 1 mil. It's still tight, and I think in today's market it's going to be a good tight mouth to lung vape. Right, so to switch it to restricted direct lung, we give it a wee twist. So we twist, and I'll change the drip tip to the restricted direct lung one. Wider bore. There we go. And we'll bump the wattage up to 28. So 28, 0.5 mouth to lung alien again. And we will open up the airflow fully. So you have your small cyclops plus all the little holes on top of that. And we'll see what that vapes like. I think the flavour is slightly better with the restricted direct lung setup. It's still pretty good with the mouth to lung, but better, I think, with the restricted direct lung. It is doing both pretty good, definitely. I think for the likes of myself who have small kids, I think this might be a device that might be very useful, because I do prefer a direct lung or restricted direct lung or even open lung. But if I've got the kids knocking about and I don't want to be blowing clouds, it's very versatile. So I can notch that down to a mouth to lung. I can stick a mouth to lung alien in it, 0.5, 18 watts, and I can vape mouth to lung while the kids are about and I'm not blowing clouds around. When the kids are gone and you're in the car or you're on your own in the house or whatever, bump it up to 25, 30 watts and walk away. Yeah, it's something I'll definitely use. I think it's clean looking. Positives, I think, is the top airflow is definitely a positive. My favourite RTA of all time is the OBS Nano Engine single coil. I had that thing for a few years. It ended up breaking, but it's still my favourite RTA I've ever used, and this reminds me a little bit of that. Vape wise, it's very similar. Top airflow as well. From the negatives is definitely the fact that it's not a bayonet fit, and it's a couple of turns anyway. The dual coil was a bayonet. Now that might be to do because it's a bit more complicated at the top and there's a bit more going on. Maybe they had to do it like that. Positive wise, it's definitely a clean looking RTA. It's a good looking RTA in my opinion. Even though you have got the Arbiter on the side, but it's not too obtrusive, I suppose, in your face. It works good. It works good. I'm surprised how well it works. For something that's trying both sides of the coin, it's actually working pretty well. It's something I'll definitely use in the future. So there you go. If you like the review, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. If you want to see more content, hit the subscribe and hit the notification bell. I should be banging out some reviews every week or every week to 10 days, I'd say. I have a couple of ideas over the next few weeks, and I should be getting back to the live build soon as well. So if you like that sort of thing, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.